Coming off of 2017's nightmare-inducing Outlast 2 game, I was anticipating the third installment in the Outlast series by a lot. I feel like the most enjoyment you're going to get from Outlast Trials is the multiplayer component of the game. There is 20 maps, 10 factions, and after you get past the initial part of the game, which you do on your own, to kind of teach you like the basics of how to play Outlast. If you've played an Outlast game, you know how the game operates. You essentially have to hide from these monsters or these abominations before they kill you. And you don't get much weapons. Essentially, your camera is your biggest weapon, and your intelligence under pressure is going to be the other main component in how you survive Outlast. The first map I had a lot of fun with. I enjoyed the ball shocking police officer. Who chases you around, along with just this weird kind of layout in a way of this fake Hollywood set that you go on, and everything around you is like cut out, and the cars are fake, but the enemies are very real. And the game is meant to do that in a way to make you think that these are realistic trials. You wouldn't have real police cars, or you wouldn't have real people unless it was a really fucking real horror experience, like people are kidnapped and forced into this world. I guess that's kind of what you are as the main character. You essentially play a homeless man who is abducted and now has to undergo all these multiple trials that you have to survive, and god damn it still fucking brings me nightmares.
Fresh fish! Poor fishy, I wish I could help, but from the size of this thing up my tuchus, I don't think we're alone!
Even playing as on the single player, Outlast Trials is still nightmare-inducing. It still creates the anxiety that I had with the first two Outlast games, which is a great testament to the makers of Outlast continuing to create that horror experience. There's a lot here in Outlast Trials, and it's more than just a single-player experience. It's a single-player experience mixed with a multiplayer experience, mixed with multiple maps, mixed with an underlining story, mixed with just a lot of create-your-own-story type of moments. And that's what makes Outlast Trials stand out. If you're looking for a game to play with your buddies and just have nightmares together, Outlast Trials is that game. And because it is early access, you can get it at half the cost that it's going to be once it fully releases. So hop on that. Hop on Steam and go pick up Outlast Trials. I mean, I don't regret buying it. And I will try the multiplayer component, so I know how good, basically the connectivity is, and how much it makes a difference by playing with teammates rather than just soloing every single component of this game. Also have levels and experience that you gain from each trial. I did miss, but I'm going to mention it now, that essentially once you start a trial, you have 3 cracks at it. If you lose those 3 times, you have to restart the trial. So it's not as easy as the first 2 Outlast games, which were difficult in their own right. But when you're limited in how many times you can try a certain thing before you have to go back to the very beginning, it creates almost an extra layer of anxiety to the game itself, which is both good and bad, because if you're having to rely on how many times a player dies rather than creating that horror experience, then it's bad. But since Outlast Trials on its own already creates that horror experience, then it makes it even better. So I like the extra challenge that the game brings. I like the fact that I don't know where the story is going. I don't know if it's going to have it seems to have a deep underlying message of, doing experiments on homeless people, something that very well is possible. I mean, if anybody wants, we did the Tuscany experiments existed, and that was a thing. So I wouldn't put it past crazy Nazi-style scientists to kidnap a bunch of homeless people and do experiments on them for the good of the world, as they would probably tell you. So after my first impression with Outlast Trials, the beginning immediately got me hooked. The multiplayer component I haven't tried, but I'm going to try that and see how I like that, so that when the final impressions comes around, I'm able to relay my entire experience with the game. The horror and nightmare-inducing elements of Outlast are still there, and I don't have much to complain about. I mean, the price for the game was fairly cheap. I think it was $29.99 or $24.99. Oh no, Starship Troopers $24, and then Trials is $29.99. Either way, it's half the cost that you're going to pay when it gets fully released. So if you're even somewhat curious about picking up Outlast Trials, definitely do so now. And I don't think that you'll regret it. I think it's a game that a lot of people will come back to and continue to play, because it's going to create a lot of great moments you have with your friends. And that's the biggest part of this game. So yeah, my first impression of Outlast Trials, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
This is evaluation. After each trial, I'll assess your progress, guiding you through recovery and growth. Know that you're special. You're loved. You're worth our effort. You have to trust that we wouldn't have chosen you if you didn't deserve to be here.
And definitely recommend you get it on Steam now, early access, because I haven't run into any issues. I didn't run into any lag. We had it playing at max settings. No issues, no glitches, no crashes, nothing. It worked flawlessly, and for early access, that's pretty rare. So, but we haven't really gotten too far into the game, so we don't know. But first impression, solid performance right out the gate. But we want to hear from you. Have you played Outlast Trials? Or have you played the other Outlast games? If you have, let us know in the comments down below. Also down below in the description, you'll find me and my brother Rocky's all over the socials, as well as a link to our other main channel, Smokin Sessions, where we do movie reviews, watch-alongs, tier lists, all sorts of entertaining, fun movie action content. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to turn on notifications so that you are made aware as soon as another Gaming Sessions video drops. So thank you so much for watching and or listening to this Outlast Trials first impression. We greatly appreciate it, and we will see you all in the next gaming session.
Don't be afraid. I want you to know that you're safe.
I spaced out of my head to the depths of the universe. It's a spell or a chance just to open up a new world.